Last night, Britain's governing Labour Party found out that they got crushed at the polls by Nigel Farage's Reform UK. The UK Labour Party for months under Keir Starmer has been attempting to cosplay as the Reform Party UK Lite, or Diet Fascism. This is shown quite clearly in their absolutely absurd campaign of trying to brag about their mass deportation plans, even more absurdly making one of their final campaign communications about how they would use drones to track people littering. I'm not sure who told Keir Starmer that the way to get voters is to convince them that you might drone strike them if they decide to fly tip. And to really understand exactly how Trumpy Keir Starmer's Labour Party is, one of the MP candidates from the Labour Party, who was up for a by-election yesterday, announced her campaign by stating she was making a petition to close down the local asylum and refugee center, because she found it unacceptable that these people were being housed in a hotel. And if you're curious why that by-election was happening in the first place, well, that's because the MP for Labour that Keir Starmer's team hand-selected was caught fighting drunk a constituent and had to resign. But it's not just the attacks on migrants, on constituents, on other people in the Labour Party, but it's against the LGBTQ community, which the Labour Party has gone on the direct attack on trans rights for months and months of their government. Keir Starmer, in his grand plan to make people who hate him and the Labour Party vote for him, has decided to take the brilliant genius tactic of alienating all of his existing voters. And as we can see from the results from yesterday, Labour lost around 10,000 votes and there were 10,000 less voters in the election. That means every single person who used to vote for Labour in that election decided not to show up because they're that disappointed in Keir Starmer's government. And keep in mind, Reform didn't get those voters on transfers, they just didn't show up to vote. And further, again, like we've seen in election after election, whether it's the AfD in Germany or the FPÖ in Austria or many other elections, they're getting their voters from non-voters. These are not transfers from other parties. So if Keir Starmer thinks that he's winning in any way, no, he's just convincing Labour voters not to vote at all. But will all of these losses across the country make Keir Starmer or his chief of staff, Morgan McSweeney, the architect of the revival of quote-unquote blue Labour with Lord Maurice Glassman, the man who loves Donald Trump and his MAGA revolution? Hell no it won't. They'll just double down and try to turn up the dial on racism and bigotry a little bit more, and only realize by doing so, they just convince people that Nigel Farage was right in the first place, and that they should just vote for the real thing instead of whatever cosplay, tribute band Nigel Farage, Keir Starmer is trying to turn the Labour Party into.